How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So today on the market analysis, I'm going to break down a comic when hype has faded, when it's gone, and there's not as much demand, but there's a ton of supply. Most of the time on these market analysis, I show how comics have gone up over time and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to show you something where it's almost like reverse, where something's really expensive now, but it goes down. That's due to supply and demand. And the comic I'm talking about today is Marvel Superheroes 13. Now, this is the first appearance of Carol Danvers, who later becomes Miss Marvel, then later becomes Captain Marvel. We all know her as Captain Marvel now. She's in the movies, the MCU, all that kind of stuff. But let's see what happens when the demand is really high and then it fades away. So I got a few. So let's look at this right here. This is a graph. You've seen this. I've done this all the time for my market analysis. Market analysis? Market analysis. I don't know. But in any case, so back in 2006, you could get one, a 6.0. I did 6.0, 8.0, 9.0. It's a good range. For about $10. 2011, it's around $20. Basically less than the case cost. It's like it was a nothing book. No one even bothered with it. Nothing. All that kind of stuff. Again, 100% return. But reality is, in between these years, it was just sold for whatever, like nothing really. 2016, the hype started getting going, right? And she became more popular in the comics, and there was rumors of her appearing in MCU and stuff like that. All right, so she's up to 225. Look at that return, 1,000% return. Most recent sale. So from 2016 to now, it's gone up 40%, which is crazy because everyone knows that right now comics are in a huge, huge boom. But if you're looking at a 15-year return, you're looking at about a 3,000% return. Roughly, it's going to make you net you, if you would have bought it in 2006, sold it today, net you $300 off your $10 investment. Let's look at a 8.0. All right, cost you about $25. In 2011, it was about $25 again. Like I said, it was kind of like whatever someone's willing to pay. It was just basically a case cost at that point. 2016, you're looking at, $400. Like I said, the hype's going. It's slowly picking up. Massive return on your investment there. Most recent sale, $840. So still, if you would have bought in 2016 to now, you would have saw 100% return. There we are, $800. All right, a 9.0. Again, it's not very desired in 2006. Same with 2011. Barely any. It was basically whatever you could get for it. 2016 though saw $1,100. Quite a big jump from here to here, right? And then from then to now, it's pretty much doubled. So still very, high in demand. She still is, in the MCU. She still is a main competitor in the comics, all that kind of stuff. So she's still very desired. Now let's look at a different graph. This is the normal graph I use for market analysis to see how much it's gone up over time. And normally in between these years, right, it'll slowly go up. So like from 2011 to 2016, maybe it hits like $40 the next year. Maybe it hits $100 the year after that, so on and so forth. Let's look at this sheet right here. This right here, I broke down important dates right here on the left, and then I broke down by the grade and the percentage return, but then also the date that each of these happened. So summer 2017, Kevin Feige announced that it was going to be more on the movie at hand, right? When it was exactly announced, I don't know. I'm assuming based off of this sheet over here, it was probably somewhere around 2016. That's when it started picking up a little bit. But 2017 at San Diego Comic-Con, Kevin Feige announced that it was going to take place in the 90s, gave more details on it and like a little more information. September, mid-September, the first trailer drops. That's 2018. Second trailer drops December 2018. The movie was actually released in March of 2019. So let's go here. based off of sales before the peak. So right before it started jetting up, like just skyrocketing, right? Right before that, for a 6.0 was around March of 2018, right before it just skyrocketing, right? And that coincides with kind of people knew it was coming out, but only real like true comic book fans, I guess. The general public probably didn't know about it until September, but more and more people knew about it. Maybe they had images coming out. They usually release images, or they have a teaser before the first trailer, all that stuff. All right, before the peak, before it started skyrocketing, you can get one for $250, 2018. Then at the height, the most ones ever sold for, and that's what I mean the peak, ever sold for. Even I took now numbers, like 2021, but the most one ever sold for was August of 2018 for $775. After the peak. So after it's already gone down into basically its lowest point, when after it's kind of everything like that. That was a little over a year later. So 6 months after the movie came out. I did the math wrong. 9 months after the movie came out. It went all the way down to $178. From there, that's a 77% drop, right? Look how much that person lost within, a little over a year and a few months. 3 months after the peak, so after this peak right here of 775, 3 months after, it dropped by almost in half. 3 months after. So that means it went up, boom, almost dropped in half. You're looking at an 8.0, right? Same thing. Before the peak, 525, and that was around October 2017. The peak, again, August. And these dates are actually the end of August. So I think it's like August 31st for most of these. It's weird that all these peaks are on the same day. So that's literally 2 weeks or so before the first trailer drops. Look how high it goes. In about a year, from October to August, it jumps from $525 to $2,000. You're looking at a 300% return. Boom, it skyrockets. After the peak, you're looking around January, so a month after that, you're looking around January when it pretty much hit its bottom, $700. 3 months after its peak, it drops by 25%. Just gone. 3 months. Let's look at a 9.0. We're looking around 866, and that's in November, so kind of close to this. So right before it starts jumping up, it's right around the same as this. A little later for the 6.0. Again, the peak, August again. It was just like maybe a teaser dropped and saying new trailer coming out in 2 weeks. Could have been. And that's when everyone's like, oh, I need to get it. I just saw a snippet of it. Because usually trailers are like 2 minutes or something. Sometimes they have teasers that show like a couple images, a couple little, like maybe 30 seconds long. Maybe a teaser came out. Almost $4,000. Look at that. From 866 in 9-10 months, $4,000. Huge jump. Boom. A year or so later, year and a half, it drops by over half. 67%, $1,300. 3 months after its peak, it dropped by 25%. And I'm just trying to show you guys what it looks like when hype is really high for something and then falls off the cliff. Now, this doesn't happen with every comic movie. Like Black Panther came out, did it just drop right after the movie showed up or a little bit before? It's usually always before. I've said this before. It's usually the tippity top of the hype is usually right around the first trailer, and then after that starts going down. That's usually how it works. These days that we're in are very unusual, and that's not how it is because we have so much other factors going on. Interest rates, where people borrow money for cheaper, so they invest in it. The dollar being inflated, so people have less trust in the dollar, so the rich people want to park their money in something else. So they do collectibles, comics, even cryptocurrency, stuff like that. So there's other factors going on that can keep a book going up. But if you see this, right, and you go back to this other sheet, the most recent sale was $2,200. It hasn't even reached its peak of $4,000. Not even close. If you're looking at 8.0, its most recent sales $850, $840. Its peak was $2,000. Not even close to its peak. Way below. And this is a recent sale. At its peak 2 years ago, 2.5 or whatever, $775 for 6.0. Most recent sales, half that. So it hasn't come back. And let me show you a graph of what it looks like. All right, so let's look here. Captain Marvel, or Marvel Superheroes 13. Let's look at an 8.0, and you can see just by looking at the graph. Look at that. Dude, no one really cares. No one, oh, what do you know? There's some little few nuggets of truth and some announcements. Maybe doing good in the comic books. Only like deep insiders know. Look at that. Straight up, boom, back down. And people still holding on, and it just goes down again. Even with the most recent comic boom, if you look at any other comic, I could pull up any comic. Right here, right around end of 2020, beginning of 2021, should a huge spike. Nothing for Captain Marvel. You know, let's look at the 9.0. Same thing. Huge spike, slowly drops off. Not even, look, it's slowly going up, but not much. Let's look at a 6.0. Big jump, nothing. Peters out. Right? I want to see, let's look at the first Captain Marvel, Marvel. Let's see how that does. Let's look at a 9.6. Doodaloo. Got that peak, but it's about the same. Even this one, it held stronger. It looks like it got some peaks, but it's still not like, it's almost up to its all-time highs. So we got 8.0. Look, even this one, it's above its all-time high, right up here. That's Captain Marvel, not Marvel, not the girl one. This is the boy one. Look at this, 6.5. See, all comics got a huge boom except Captain Marvel. But it's not always like that. There's other comics that are going down. I've illustrated like Ghost Rider 1, first Damien Hellstorm full appearance. That one's slowly going down. Other comics are going down. But most comics recently have gotten this massive spike. But even here, this is where it peaked out, a few years ago. But it's passing that. But not for Captain Marvel. And there's a lot of reasons why. I think one of the reasons why is the hype was so strong for this book. So strong that it just skyrocketed the book. And there's no way this can even come close to it anymore. And a lot of people have gotten burned and maybe they don't want it. A lot of people are like, I invested in that and I lost half my money, like instantly, And it's still not even go close to that. So no one's really buying into it. Also, Captain Marvel, she wasn't popular. I know that they made $1 billion off it, but the general consensus is no one really liked her. There are people out there who liked her. So if you like her, that's fine. But Brie Larson as Captain Marvel was not very liked as a whole between like a lot of fans and things like that. So I know people that liked Captain Marvel, but general consensus, not very liked. They even didn't call it Captain Marvel 2, and they're calling it the Marvels because they're bringing in other Captain Marvels, and I guarantee you some of them are going to replace Brie Larson in the future. I think Disney's going to axe her, and they're just going to have a new Captain Marvel take the mantle over, which they do all the time in the comics. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I just wanted to show what hype looks like. Hold on, my dog is Quinn. I just want to show what hype looks like and what happens to a book. It can go up really, really high, and then it can drop off a cliff. And just because the supply and demand. The demand is no longer there. It kept on going up. There was tons and tons of demand. And then all of a sudden, people were like, the trailer sucks. The movie sucks. This sucks. I'm not going to buy the book anymore. Demand gone instantly, right? And then people were just scrambling to get rid of it. And that happened to me. I had a bunch of these, and I was like, oh, it's going to hit. It's going to be great. And the movie money-wise, did amazing. But it didn't connect with the audience. That didn't help it. The hype just died for that book. And so this video just shows what happens when a book is hyped up and the hype goes away. And I've talked about this about other comic books, Ultimate Fallout 4 and all this kind of stuff. I'm not saying that this is going to happen to Ultimate Fallout 4. I'm just saying, in general, books, you get all this hype from movies, or a TV show or something like that, And then what happens if that TV show is not good, or that TV show or movie does not connect with an audience like the hype thought it was going to? Gone, right? There's other books though that, Black Panther, FF40, 52, it will go up. It has a little dip after the movie, but continues to go up, or just keeps going up, right? Because people loved it, they connected with it. So you get a new audience. People are like trying to collect it. So you get new blood going in there, putting their money into it. But if it's not enough, if it's not sustainable, if there's not enough new people spending that money, it starts dipping. And then when it dips, people start trying to get rid of it as much as possible because they want to save their investment, or they think it's peaked. They don't want to lose any more money. Because literally, I've had Captain Marvel books and they literally dropped in half. And I'd sell them at half what I paid for them. So yeah, I hope you like this. This is a little different of a market analysis. It's the other side of what can happen. Not everything just goes up, 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 up. So if you haven't subscribed, please think about subscribing. If you are subscribed, thank you. Feel free to leave a like or a comment. Maybe a book you've been burned on before, or you bought kind of at the peak of the hype and then sold it and made a loss. As always, the link to my website is down below. It's collectorscomics.com. Also, my music's on there if you want to listen to my music. A lot of people always ask me, I want to buy some of your books, but I don't want to go on eBay. Use our website. All the stuff is on our website. And it'll also save you a little money. So, yeah, that's about it. All right. Thanks.